Hello everyone. Today we'll continue from the previous topic. So in the last class we have seen the mechanical amplifier, optical amplifier, fluid amplifiers. Now next part is the electronic amplifier. So electronic amplification of gain. Here we will see we'll start with the in the ideal electronic amplifiers, what are the characteristics? Okay. Now infinite gain, lower gain can be obtained by adding the attenuation circuits, infinite input impedance, so no input current, hence no current on the previous stage, no load on the previous stage or device, zero output impedance, low noise, instant response, wide frequency bandwidth, zero output for zero inputs, ability to ignore or reject extraneous inputs. Now these are the ideal characteristics of the amplifier, electronic amplifier. Now let's continue. Now see here, Vi is equal to input voltage, I is equal to input current, output voltage, output current. So gain, power gain is given by power output divided by power input. So we can write like this: power output divided by power input. Now voltage amplification, output voltage divided by input voltage, current amplification, output current by input current. Now another way of expressing the power gain is through the use of decibels. Using decibels, you can convert that into decibels. The common logarithm, that is log to the base 10 of power gain, is known as Bell power gain. Okay, so to convert into Bell, we are using this arrangement: power gain equal to log of base 10 output power divided by input power in bells. 1 bell equal to 10 decibel, so power gain equal to 10 into that one, that convert it into decibels. If the two powers are developed in the same resistance or equal resistance, then Pi equal to Vi square by R, that is I square R, Po equal to Vo square by R, that is Io square into R. So voltage gain equal to 10 log base 10 output power divided by input power. Okay, so we can write like this, that we are RR get cancelled. So 20 log of base 10 output voltage divided by input voltage in decibels. 20 log of base 10 output voltage divided by input voltage in decibels. Now same thing for the current gain. Now two simple problems they have given here. A three-stage amplifier has a first voltage gain of 100, second stage voltage gain of 200, and third stage voltage gain of 400. Find the total voltage gain in dB. Okay, now first stage is converted into decibel, second stage converted into decibel, third stage converted into decibel, then finally we have added. So this is the final answer. Okay. Now in multi-stage amplifier employs 5 stages, each of which has a power gain of 30. Okay, what is the total gain of amplifier in dB? If the negative feedback of 10 dB is employed, find the resultant gain. Okay, now first one, so each stage has a gain of 30. Okay, so number of stages 5. Okay, now convert that into the gain into decibels using 10 log of 30 dB, that is 40.77. 5 into that, it gives the answer of, for the first question, the resultant power gain with the negative feedback is the total minus 10. Now this is 10 because of the negative feedback. This is the answer. Next is AC and DC amplifiers. You know what is AC amplifier and what is DC amplifier. AC amplifier used to amplify the AC signal. Here we are considering the frequency. In DC coupled amplifier, there is no frequency. We are amplifying either a static or slowly changing signals. That is DC amplifier. Okay, so when we talk about AC amplifier, we are considering the bandwidth also. Okay, for an AC amplifier, the bandwidth is the range of frequencies between which the gain or magnitude ratio is constant to within minus 3 dB. This corresponds to the frequency at which the voltage output amplitude falls by 29.3% to 70.7% of the maximum value. The AC amplifiers are only capable of dealing with rapid repetitive signals, but are usually simpler and cheaper when compared to their DC counterparts. In an AC amplifier system, the amplifier drift and spurious noise are not significant. the main frequency pickup rejection is very important. In AC amplifier, we are not worrying about the drifting of signal, drifting of frequency, and we are not much worried about the spurious noise. Okay, here we are worrying about the rejection of the main, that is the 50 hertz signal, because it operates with the AC signal. Okay, so main rejection is very important here. In DC amplifiers are capable of amplifying static, slowly changing or rapid repetitive input signals. The DC amplifier systems are easy to calibrate at low frequencies and hence and have the ability to recover rapidly from overload conditions. Next is modulated and unmodulated signal. So you know what is modulated and unmodulated signal. Okay, so in the first year I think you have studied modulation, that is amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and demodulation you have studied. The signal whatever we are going to measure, it may be pure signal without any modulation. Now see here, the measurement may be pure in the sense that analog electrical signal contains nothing more than the real time variation of the measurement information itself, that is without any mixing, without any modulation, pure signal. So or the signal may consist of mixed with a carrier. So whenever we are talking about the mixing of carrier with that the frequency ratio must be 10:1. The frequency ratio must be 10:1. Now this 1 is the frequency of our signal, the 10 is the frequency of the carrier. So in the modulation, two types are there: amplitude modulation, frequency modulation. You are familiar with that. Okay, if we are using amplitude modulation, okay, if the signal is amplitude modulation, so we have to demodulate it. How to demodulate it? So by using rectification and filters. If we are using a frequency modulation, it is much more complicated. Demodulation of frequency modulation is much more complicated. For that we are using frequency discrimination, ratio detection, or phase locked loops. Okay, you go through it. If there is any doubt, you can ask me. Integrated circuits and ICs. You know what is IC? Integrated ICs or chips. Okay, in the integrated ICs, all the components are integrated in a single silicon die. Only pins are coming outside. Now see here, the integrated circuits, as the name implies, are group of circuit elements combined to perform specific purpose. For the most part of the element consists of transistor, diode, resistors, and to lesser extent capacitors, all components and packaged in convenient plug-in unit. So everything is packaged in a single silicon die. Okay, ICs from the building block are used to construct more complex circuits such as differential amplifier, mixer, timer, filter, audio preamplifiers, auto power amplifiers, etc. Okay, now this is about IC. Next is operation amplifier. I think in the first year you have studied this one, operational amplifier, and in the fourth sem also you had one subject, that is operation amplifier. In that subject you have studied everything. Now in this chapter we are repeating the same thing once again. What is operational amplifier, the basic characteristics, basic applications, the uses of amplifier, okay, specification, characteristic, everything I'm going to repeat. So you just go through it easily, you can understand. If there is a doubt, you can ask me anytime. So operation amplifier is a linear integrated circuit. Linear means it is a analog integrated circuit that has a very high voltage gain and high input impedance and low output impedance. Okay, so it is so called because it can be employed to carry out many different mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, integration, differentiation. So operational amplifier, it performs some operation then amplification. So these are the different operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, integration, differentiation, everything is done there, then we are performing amplification. So it is a operational amplifier. So operation amplifiers are linear integrated circuits that work on relatively low supply voltage they are reliable and inexpensive, and an DL operational amplifier is sorry an ideal operational amplifier is device of infinite voltage gain, infinite bandwidth, infinite input impedance, and zero output impedance. This is the characteristics of the ideal op amp. An op amp may contain 2 dozen transistor, 2 dozen a dozen resistor, and 1 or 2 capacitors. Now these are the examples for the op amps. So the specification or characteristics of an op amp. In the 4th semester, you have studied this one very perfectly. You have studied all these characteristics: input offset voltage, input offset current, input check current, sleeve rate, unity, gain frequency, common mode rejection ratio. Everything you have studied. An op amp is the basic building block for amplifier, integrator, summer. For everywhere we are using the operational amplifier. Now see the basic diagram of operational amplifier symbols. It consists of 2 inputs. One is inverting, another one is non-inverting. So this is the output. Okay. So it operates with the positive and negative power supply, plus or minus supply. So one is inverting input, another one is non-inverting input. The output voltage of the operational amplifier is the multiplication of the difference of the 2 inputs, the V1 minus V plus minus V minus, the non-inverting input and inverting input, into the gain of the circuit. Okay. And limitation of the op amp. You just go through this op amp easily, you can understand. So CMRR, everything you have studied. Okay. Still there is any doubt, you can ask me.